How about now? I don't understand how it does that. Thank you, Dragon Dancer, for saying that, because we have been talking up a storm. Oh, so we have done a lot of changes in the technical stuff behind this. And yeah, so hopefully you can hear me now. We were just talking about lots of changes and things that we're doing and things we'd like to bring. And we would like to hear more from you all. Because, this quote-unquote service, I don't ever want it to turn into a sermon or a talking at or talking to. So hopefully, if that ever does happen or you hear that or that feels that way, please be open. We are fine with it. We take constructive criticism for sure. And anybody that wants to come on, or even if you want to do a pre-recorded video sharing something, we want to post that. We want to utilize that stuff so that everybody has input into this conversation. So thank you, Paranormal. We were having some sound issues there for a minute. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, the only benefit that this has is if it's beneficial to everybody in some way, shape, or form. Now, today, we've got some pretty cool topics, some pretty interesting things I want to talk about, and some interesting news. And then, of course, we'll do our after show with the book and education talk. So, remember, if you're not comfortable being on video or audio live, it's certainly okay. In the after show, you can do that anonymously. You do not have to use your video. Well, I guess not really technically anonymously, but we're looking to take this to the next level from a simple production show where we talk about pagan stuff to really starting to engage the community that we want it to serve. And that pretty much is everybody that is comfortable doing so. So, if you want to hop in, join, sound, all that stuff, we are going to try it, and we may completely screw it up, but we are going to get it right at some point. So, for what that's worth, share it in. If you have a topic, share it. If you want to talk about said topic, perfect. If you don't, tell us. We'll do some research on it and learn it too. Because that's all about doing both. Now, we have two major topics today other than our normal stuff, which is a little bit about Sabbats and Esbats, a little bit about the, Zodiac and all that. We're going to talk about what is cardinal fixed immutable mean. And if you don't know what those things are, we will talk about what they are and what they mean. And and prayer, which I think is still valuable, versus spells and spells as a topic. So that's me neat. We got a couple of articles to talk about too. What is up, Tree Sap? How's it going? Absolutely, Paranormal. I actually really appreciate that. So I've been having a ton of trouble with the Facebook events. It just, every time I would try to edit it, it would change something and then not clear, and then it would get hung up, and then it did it, and then changed the dates to like 2023, and it was just a mess on Facebook. It is probably user operator error though. And Rook has pretty much knocked over and or dropped just about everything he's touched today.
My food,
And even though I've cleaned my head a little bit, you probably will notice a blood spot. I fell this morning because I'm old. And you'll notice when we go live in video in just a moment, I'm eating really quickly, so that's why that. But you'll notice that the large skull candlesticks are no longer on the table. That is because one of them fell off and cracked me in the head and broke. So there's that. This is a clumsy day.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why we're like, we're not going to go too far from the house.
I think that's an excellent idea. No, but what a good week, right? Wednesday we were on with Mel.
Yes.
Unexplained Possibilities. He's awesome. Got amazing energy. That was just
I
felt
enjoyed it so much.
Got to be on with Mel. That was great. You guys have Podcast Friday, and
We had a very good topic Friday. I'm not against it, talking about my tantrum either, because I stand beside my tantrum. And then we've been playing games and kind of relaxing. The church service was really nice. Not church service. The dinner, the food.
oh, for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah. So that was really fun, to get to help out. That's my favorite. When we're doing stuff like that, I don't want to be the preacher. I don't want to be out in the center. I want to be in the back cooking and cleaning and getting stuff ready and just looking that things are going well. That's a Virgo for me.
It was a nice, easy flow, energy kind of event.
Yes, it was nice.
It was all about seeing people.
Reconnecting with a bunch of people, having some good conversations, strengthening some connections. Really enjoyed it.
Although I set the table on fire.
Yeah.
I did that once,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did that one time.
Yeah, lots of good topics today. So, once you have got all your stuff lit that you want,
Yes.
can you grab the charcoalies? Ben, what are you eating?
Yes.
He's got part of a highlighter. They're like toddlers.
Let's see. Charcoal would be.
Because we burned it last with Melvin.
I see them.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't think Finn should have that neon.
That's not good for you, Kenny.
Thank you. We're going to get our charcoal going. We're going to call our corners. We're going to hit this video. We used to kind of like delay the whole video, and we would leave it up for a while, and we're going to let the just kind of talk behind. But even though we're still going to start, where did my tweezers go that were just here? That's sitting on over there in the corner. Yeah, probably.
Where?
See them anywhere. Yeah, this is how it's gonna go.
The Fae are out.
The Fae are definitely out.
Hiding things.
I don't want to get a new setup. I was just using it to behind you on the fire altar.
Would these be those? Are these those?
These are those. Thank you. Now where's some lighter? It's gonna be rough, y'all. It's gonna be rough.
Let's bear with us today. We'll make it.
Yeah, I was trying to get the camera and the computer set up the right way, and that's when I fell and hit my head. But yeah.
We can have both. Hey, Paranormal. Is that the one on Belial you're talking about? And we can share it. Anyone's welcome. Your Instagram post on Belial. I didn't know how to get on Instagram on the
Finn just got the cheese.
iPad, but we can definitely. I can read it if that's okay with you during the podcast. I really want people to get on to follow you, Lady Rose 819 on Instagram, because they're very, very good vlogs. We're gonna try to pull it up and share it, I think, so that folks can see.
That's right, Insta.
Mm-hmm. It's Lady. Oh.
If I'm logged in. This right here, right? Isn't that her?
Yeah.
I think it's from here. Yeah, not that one.
Not the happy turkey.
Not the happy turkey.
What blog you can use? I don't mind.
Oh, it's in story, that's why.
Well, I think you've done a great job on all of them.
Very much so. I agree.
Great job on all of them. I hope everybody's having a great weekend, and thank you for coming in together today and spending some time with us.
Yep.
You got it?
Loud. Yeah, but I won't be able to read it because it's too far away. But
I can read it on my phone. All right.
call.
Yes. We are going to call circle. Hear me, friends and ancestors from the east. Hear my voice carried on the air of clarity and truth. Watch over us as we cast our circle of safety and love.
See me, friends and ancestors from the south. See my flame of passion created and creation seared into the energy of the universe. Watch over us as we cast our circle of limitless possibility. And good morning, Ziggy.
Feel me, friends and ancestors from the west. Feel my love, fear, sadness, and joy washed into the waters of the rivers of compassion. Watch over us as we cast our circle of connection and motion.
Reach me, friends and ancestors from the north. Reach my feet and hands, the earth in my toes, and the work of my fingers. Watch over us as we cast our circle of the earth.
Know me, friends and ancestors from the ether. Know my intent, know my heart, and know my spirit. Watch over us as we ask you all to join us in perfect love and perfect trust.
Hear, see, feel, reach, and know that this circle is safe, the circle is sacred, and the circle is cast. Casted be the circle.
Be it so.
Be it so. I'm almost done. Promise.
Ziggy, Ziggy, good morning. Ziggy, 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 can't you see? We're so glad that you joined him and me. Hey, I tried.
I mean, it was good.
It was good.
It was pretty good.
That'd be pretty quick. So, while Mystic is finishing up, I can talk briefly about the books I'm reading. I'm still reading Lords of the Left-Hand Path, Psychic Witch, which I love. That's my kind of energy, magical energy. Very straight to the point, calm. I'm really enjoying that book. Uncle Sutnack's Essential Guide to the Left-Hand Path, which I will say, it's like the best book ever until chapter 4 for me. It's got a lot of practical and good suggestions and meaningful things, but the initiation, I guess I need to go in meditation or something because it seems like utter nonsense. But that's just me, but great book otherwise.
I agree with you. I think the initiation is going to be difficult until we, number one, work through the first part of the book, and number two, actually process it in a way that speaks and is appropriate for us. So that's going to be different.
Yeah. But the 90% of it is just awesome. Good morning. Cheers. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Create your own
You are
future.
drinking. Cheers.
So I won't go into a lot of the book stuff because we do that afterwards, but I'm recently reconnecting with a group that I kind of got started in right before COVID, and then life just changed for everybody. But it's Little Tree Sap in here. Yep, I'm gonna get in trouble. I haven't yet, but this group, there's a lot of recommended books and some that I haven't read, like Aradia, The Gospel of Witches, and so I've opened up a whole new list of freaking 25 books I got to work on, but I'm not doing that till I finish some of my ones that I'm working on now. What are you reading, Mystic Salann?
Milf Ma, you can't go any further. Our Petite is a little sick today. She's okay, but thank you. I feel like absolute trash, Because who cares? I haven't showered since like Thursday. I've been in the pool a couple times, so that kind of counts. But I'm feeling pretty ratty because I'm really irritated that I have to fly out tomorrow too. Like I just am mad that it has to happen. Back to kind of some normalcy for work temporarily because that will change. But anyway, so thank you. Yes, I want to get more of these shirts. It's actually I really enjoy it, and I like yours too.
Create your own future, mine says.
Mm-hmm. And it's so accurate and appropriate for left-hand path and everything that we're doing. So the smoke you are seeing, which is the other thing I was thinking, we don't really talk about like what's going on the table. And we probably should a little bit. The smoke that you're seeing is literally pine bark. Just it fills the house with the beautiful smell of burning wood to me, and I love it. We obviously have some pine resin from all the hurricane stuff that's happened, but that's pine bark. So that smoke you see, that's what that's from. If you don't have incense and you don't have money for that, you get yourself just a little iron bowl like this would work. And I have a piece of charcoal in it that's usually used for hookahs. And we burn bark. We burn grass. You can burn little pieces of wood and pine needle. All those things will give a nice little essence. Books. So I finished Backwoods Witchcraft by Jake Richards.
What'd you think?
It's good. I'm going to talk about it in the Discord afterwards in the book show. I like it. It's very conversationally written. It is an easy read. It reminds me so much of the Brocari, the Pennsylvania Dutch folk magic, obviously, because that kind of connects a little bit to the Appalachian magic. They're all intertwined, interconnected. Now, interestingly, my grandparents on my dad's side and my dad's family, very Christian, very Pennsylvania Dutch. And they have a Brocari history. And I'm trying to learn it, but it's hard because the texts are written like it's 1625 and where hast forth since hence when the foregone goat went to the fourth night, and I have to figure that out. 5 sentences.
This could be one.
All the extra so it's really weird, but and then my mom and her family are from Point Pleasant, which is Mothman territory, which is Appalachian territory, magic, wood. So it's very interesting to see those things being so similar. I would recommend the book to read. It's a good read. It's an easy read, and I mean easy not to comment that the author writes childishly, but it's conversational. So I enjoyed that. There is a lot of things in there that I feel could be references versus part of the text. So basically, let's say, and I don't remember the page in the book, it's a 200-page book. It's 100 pages of really good readable learning content, and then 100 pages of reference points of how to do this spell and what was used for this spell and what was used with this iron and what was used with da-da-da. And so that's the cool stuff that comes from it.
Hey, Simona, good morning.
Hey, welcome. So that's the cool stuff from it, right? And we'll talk again more about that in Discord, but I can definitely see myself working with somebody who's having a difficulty, perhaps client-related, or friend-related, and they're having trouble doing something, and going to this book to pull out a spell that could help. That's where I see that book. I am still reading The Expanse on Kindle. That is going slow because that's my last book of priority, because it just will take me forever to read fiction. And then I reread Psychic Witch. So reread is a little bit of a lie. I went back through and I looked at all my highlights and my tabbed pages, and you read the whole freaking thing new again. I ended up reading the last 2 chapters completely over again. So very cool. Agree. Started mastering magic, and I'm telling you, just in the first chapter alone, full of exercises, goes right back into that same path. It's like the same book, just longer. I really, really enjoy his writing style and what he has to put down. So, it'll be very, very interesting.
Oh yeah, thanks. That is just Simona. I really love that book. It's kind of like what you said. It's a conversational type writing. I like the way he wrote it, and going back through these exercises and a lot I've never even heard of. They're really cool.
Yeah. So like Backwoods Witchcraft is like getting all the kids together, us being the kids, and listening to great grandma tell us about the stories of old. That's Backwoods Witchcraft. Psychic Witch is going to the coffee shop with your friend who's been doing it for 50 years and kind of just helping you through whatever it is you're doing and letting you grow your own. It's amazing. Both are amazing writing styles and content. They're very, very helpful. And then, like I said, Mastering Magic is the second book to Psychic Witch. It literally is like just part 2 of the first book. So cool. But we will detail that. And Simone, if you don't know, and I know people don't want to be on the computer all day on a Sunday, on a weekend, but we do have a book club. I don't know what else to call it. Our reading challenge group to discuss all things reading and learning and improvements in ourselves and what we can share with each other just after the show in Discord. So you're welcome to join. I don't want to talk about ongoing projects because they're still the exact same ongoing projects that they've been, because we're not working them very hard. Rook is going to help clean the garage today, though, while I mow the lawn, and just hope he knows that. So, and the reason that's important is because that is where we're setting up our crafting station, and we'll be able to do the actual podcraft things that we want to do from either there or from out back on our porch, like we did with the pomanders and the other things that we've been doing. And we want to keep them simple. These are like we do the pomanders, even though it was a 4-hour video. It was a 10-minute craft. So we like to share the social aspect and just have people hang out. But yeah, so really cool. Shadow work is coming, I promise. News. So I picked a news topic that came up on my stuff today.
Okay, Simona, so I'll be glad that
I'll be mowing the lawn in the sun. You can at least be in the air conditioning garage.
That'll help me push through it.
We have an air conditioned garage. You'll be fine. Did you take my tweezers? So the article that I picked today to kind of talk about the news piece, I have to be very careful because I think it's going to, or could potentially bring up some issues with people and how I say it, and I want to make sure I say it properly. So the article was Boys and Men. Where is it? I wrote it down just in case. It's the author, Richard Reeves. The book is Boys and Men, Why the Modern Male is Struggling. And I listened to him, and it was really nice because what I was expecting was a woe is me about, men are having such a hard time and blah, 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 right? And what I got was the reminder that you can have two narratives at once. And that's what I wanted to bring up. Not necessarily that the article says that men are struggling, but in cases of things that are happening compared to previous years, men have, and males, boys, whatever you want to call them, have seriously had significant struggles. Struggles in the area of mental health, struggles in areas of joblessness, struggle in areas of not being good enough and not feeling good enough, which all of those things are good. But what he made such a good point with was that he had got, this author had gotten some, calls and comments and people saying, like, well, men have been, what is the word? I don't want to say like top of the food chain, but oppressive to women for so long that women need to, or are, and need to be brought into the forefront where they should be for equality, right? As they reach that state of equality. Poor men, right? But he just made so clear how important it was that we can have two narratives at once. I forget that a lot. You can have a narrative, and it's the same thing, and I know it in my head, but I don't really think about it, but it's the same thing to me as Black Lives Matter. And it hit me when HIV Lives Matter shirts were on that movie that we watched. So we watched a documentary about HIV in the 80s, 90s, and then modern times and how it compares. And they had shirts that said HIV Matters, and I'm thinking, well, damn if that just doesn't make more sense of why it is. We know in our community and you guys in here, that we've talked about this before, we are definite supporters of all the movements, and we understand why Black Lives Matters is important over saying something like White Lives Matters, because white lives have always mattered, apparently, not supposedly, but apparently, and that's a problem. But just because you say Black Lives Matter and that is where the focus is, doesn't make the other narrative go away. All lives do matter, but that's not the problem here. HIV, all lives matter, but HIV is the problem in that community and what they're trying to drive that notification for. And so it's the same way, I think, similar, not same, but similar in many aspects as the equality in the fight for equality, because we're all fighting for different ways. We're fighting for gender equality. We're fighting for just human equality. We're fighting for LGBTQIA equality, transgender equality, bisexual, all of it. You know, we're going towards this equality, and as we do, we have to highlight where the inequality is. Problem is, it's easy for both sides to forget that the other narrative is still there. Meaning that you can hold two stances at one time. They're not mutually exclusive simply by saying it. So I hope that makes sense and that I stated it properly, I think, what I'm trying to say. And I think the real point, or the real thing that stuck out to me, wasn't that boys are struggling and men are struggling, or that, you know, there's equality. It's just that it is nice to hear somebody openly communicate on a large network about the ability to have two narratives. We've known that. We have those discussions, right? But it's not really that common in the news or in, you know, outlets. And that was really the big point. And yes, 100%, always two narratives, and everybody's always struggling in some case. And I think that struggle is relative to yourself, and it's really, really important not to compare it to others. Now that's going on a different topic, but I hope everybody kind of got that, what I'm saying here. It's not about, I'm not worried or concerned about woe is men, or men are struggling, or gender equality and all the equalities that exist. It's the idea of having more than one narrative. We have to, I think, remember that, and I would hope that you guys remember that there's more than one narrative and speak that narrative, and when you do have it, or when something doesn't make sense, ask. One last piece I want to mention, and this is a whole nother topic I don't mind talking about one day, is privilege, and recognizing systematic and institutional privilege and individual privileges based on those systems. I have been accosted so many times by just stating I'm aware of my own privilege. I can guarantee you I have done a lot of amazing things in this life, and I have made really hard decisions, and I have worked my ass off to get and do where I am. But I have not had to work as hard as a woman in general, and I have not had to work as hard as a black person or any other misaligned race or ethnicity or creed. It's been easier for me because of the way the system is set up, and I recognize that. And the amount of people that get mad when I say that is insane to me. I just don't understand that. But I'm getting way off topic now. That got me going. So the reason this is all coming up is because a memory popped back up on my Facebook that reminded me of an article I wrote, or a conversation I had like 8 years ago. And the guy called me a sniveling white piece of trash, groveling F words, and saying that how dare you speak, you don't speak for us when you talk about your white privileges, that's bullshit and all. And it was terrible. I'm like, dude, all I'm saying is I'm aware that things in general were easier for me. I've gotten out of tickets that I should not have gotten out of. I've been drunk driving before, and I should not have made it out of that, and I did without a ticket. That's not normal, and not very many will get that opportunity. I got it because I was a young white male kid, and I really believe that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Interesting. Okay, good.
Well, that was what the topic was for me.
Okay. All right, I'll give them a few seconds before I start on mine. Mine are not really
It's definitely a charge.
that involved or a charge, but that's good, because yours is.
And that's also just while people are taking it in and either hanging up and never coming back, because I get speaking out of turn, but this is not a conversation that I can accurately discuss, emulate, convey on a podcast. But it is a thought-provoking idea, I think, that we need to consider and we need to think about. So, seeing no comments, I say we move on.
All right, so my first news article is about a Yule festival in Tuscumbia, Alabama. I apologize if I mispronounced that for any Alabamans. But that is held, or will take place on Saturday, December 3rd from 1 to 9 p.m. on Main Street in freaking Alabama. How cool is that? A Yule festival. So, as the preparations were being made for this festival, the organizer, whose name is Kendall Gilchrist became aware of some negative comments in the online community, Facebook, the city council site, etc., that people were going to oppose the Yule event, as you can imagine, in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So at the city council meeting, there were, of course, they handled their regular business, and then Miss Gilchrist was allowed to give kind of a background about what the purpose of the festival was, and a background on Yule and Krampus and things like that. So 3 pastors or church people opposed, and 1 pharmacist opposed the festival, citing that it is of the devil, against Christ, should not be tolerated or allowed. The pharmacist, I will give her this though, while she didn't agree or want the festival, she said that Gilchrist should be heard, as that is the Christian thing to do. Interestingly enough,
why does that even factor into it?
right, this city hall meeting rather was broadcast on Zoom or something. It was, online, and while the in-person presence was greatly opposed to the festival, the online community was totally the opposite. For freedom of religion, they were supporting Gilchrist, and Gilchrist, the organizer, actually owns an occult shop in the town, which I thought was pretty cool. Gilchrist wanted everybody to know that this is not city officials opposing the festival. This is members of the community and churches and things like that. The city officials are actually very supportive.
Good.
And the last point on that, other than it being freaking cool that there's a Yule Festival in small town Alabama from 1 to 9 on Main Street, is that one woman connected to the group that is opposed to the festival reached out to Gilchrist in kindness and told her, "While I may not know exactly what this event is, I intend to bring my kids and find out."
I love that.
I thought that was really cool.
That makes me happy.
We don't have a freaking Yule Festival here that I know of, probably somewhere, but definitely not Fort Myers or Cape Coral that I know of.
We'll have to look.
And the other article I found that was really cool was about an endangered black-naped pheasant pigeon that had not been seen and thought to be extinct for 140 years was spotted on Ferguson Island on Papua New Guinea. The land where this pigeon was sighted was recently signed over in a contract to a logging company, and researchers are trying to raise enough money to go back and see how many of the species there are to determine other efforts to protect them, to relocate them, and things like that. So cool.
I agree. Little Tree said Alabama getting their Yule on.
That's pretty freaking cool. I mean, Alabama. I think that's just pretty cool it even exists.
I completely agree. It's interesting how excuse me, sorry, I was burping, I didn't want to make it loud. It's interesting how even we perceive kind of what the expectation is from those around. It's definitely getting better as an overall. But man, the people that oppose it, I really don't understand.
And it's just that whole thing in all the comments. It was all, Christ is this, Christ is that, Christ is the reason. It's like, your fucking religion isn't the world religion. But they've had, just like I believe the Bible, books, and other things were written and designed by men, probably women too, as a way to control people and control the crowd. They've organized. They've been able to push their agenda for a long time.
Can you press the and hold the control button for me?
This one?
Yes. Thank you.
But it's not the fucking only religion, and just because you believe in your religion doesn't mean it should govern anybody.
Agree.
And I'll shut up on that. Don't get me started. I have Baptist trauma here.
Well, the thing is, and we talked about this a little bit before, I do, obviously there's Baptist trauma, and I have it, and there's things that are kind of a problem, and that would be so amazing.
Oh, yes!
We should just start
Dragon
Sabbath
Dancer.
festivals, period.
We should.
Starting with Yule.
And I like that
Next
one.
year.
I think I read about it last year. Spirit Walk, I think it was.
Spirit Walk, yes.
Where we proceed like on a walk and
That's part of the Samhain thing, isn't it? The
Well,
Samhain
this
time.
was. Oh, maybe. Yeah, you're right. But maybe do it for Yule and remind people of the. Like, think about Yule, go wassailing, have different funds. We should start a Yule festival.
I'm all
Dragon.
for it.
That would be fun.
I say we do it.
Because I'm generally opposed to Christmas, and I think that kind of also highlights Yule for me, even though Yule is pagan and I love it. So it'd be nice to embrace some Yule traditions, like yes, the Yule log and different things, wassailing. I want to hear more about that roast the goat, Heather. Y'all were talking about.
Yes, we need to talk more about that.
What is roast the goat?
Ziggy, that would be so freaking awesome. I think we just need to do it.
Woo!
That's a lot of work, though. We're going to have to hire some event planners.
It'd probably be for next Yule, like 2023, right?
Or
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, but it'd be really fun.
That would be fun.
I'm just tired of groups asserting dominance over people, but you got to give it to them. They meet. They may not practice all of them, but they meet up. They got their soldiers.
Don't go to a public place and say, you can't do that because it's of the devil.
Right.
You can go to a public place and say other things, and you can say publicly, I don't want them to do that because it's of the devil. But that's it. That's all you get.
That's all you get.
That's all you get.
Your religion is no fun. I have fun in mine.
That would be fun. So the thing that I mentioned, and it probably didn't even get on recording because I think our sound was out in the beginning, is Rook, Heather, and myself and some others are working on some things behind the scenes that we hope will help kind of coordinate stuff like that, among many, many other things. We will share more details once those details have been existed. By the way, I did post my version of the bylaws on the Discord server. But the idea is to start really making sense of our practices and doing them, what practices we do have in a community. The more and more that I think about how we practice, it seems like the Sabbats and Esbats are the things that you can do in public, and presently those are the things we want to grow bigger. And then you still have your private practice. But since we're talking about Yule, Yule is coming, fa la 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 la. Don we now are gay apparel.
Walk to me in whips and leather.
So,
Crack, 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 crack.
so Yule is next. Yule is coming. So, ultimately, when I think, and I'm going to do it before I even talk about it, but we'll make it quick. But when I think of Yule, I think of Christmas. And I am actively working on disassociating is the correct word in this instance, those two things, because while they are connected by force, they are not necessarily the same thing, nor should they need to be connected. So I'm working really hard personally to kind of change how I feel about that, because I believe I would really enjoy Yule if Yule didn't remind me so much of Christmas. It's kind of like church. I think I would love church if it wasn't so churchy.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. So I would love Yule if it's not so Christmassy. It's only Christmassy because that's what's in my head. So I want to work on that. And one of the things I'm doing to work on that is kind of identifying what is similar and what is different in the Christmas season. And so, scholarly, Yule is all about the connection to the wild hunt, the god Odin, some other things, Mother's Night. There's lots of different things that are connected to it, and by such at the time, and the need to put the pagans down in their place, it was Christianized and or bastardized, in my opinion, and however you want to say it. But the thing is, Yule and Christmas, there's no way to go around it. They concur and go together. So what are some things that I can look at Yule as and feel and separate it out? So Yule and Christmas, our family forcefully ate dinner with each other and were merry with each other, but we were so fake and trite and superficial. Mostly because that's when I wasn't allowed to be gay, or I wasn't allowed to do anything else, or so you can't be yourself. It wasn't a true celebration for all of us. It was just the elders of the family being able to exert their presence on. I have the nicer house. That's why we're doing Christmas at my house, because my tree is the prettiest. I heard of it, and that's kind of how I grew. So for Yule, while everybody else is putting up red and green and Christmas stuff and all this, I want to find some Yule connections that we can use to kind of decorate and move into the time of Yule. Yule is not just red and green and Christmas lights. It's grays, it's wood colors, it's the forest at the winter, the evergreens, the snow. So, lights that I want to decorate the house in, Christmas lights maybe, would be the silver, green, not red. I'm not green and red together. I don't like anyway. But I want to get my brain to separate out from Christmas, and I want to do that by the environment, which is a great way to do it. It's a great way to do spell work and do altar work, right? Like, we still have pumpkins and orange things on the altar. It still feels kind of Samhain for me. Mm-hmm. We're going to change that out with greens and browns and something maybe evergreen. We have a black Christmas tree that has lights on it. And do things that are going to celebrate and recommend and environmentally show what...
Hey, Joy!
Hey, Joy! To show what Yule is that is separate from Christmas. But there are some similarities, obviously, but there are some good things in Christmas, too. We buy gifts for each other. I don't like that part. I say we change it to we buy time with each other. So we're going to commit to going over and having time and celebrations with other people. That is that is your gift. That is the thing that makes everything go together. So I really think that that's something that we can focus on. So we are going to, by next Saturday, try to get some decorations. They will probably look Christmassy because that's mostly what's available. But we are going to try to do some decorating here and in the house that is more Yule than Christmas, and kind of see how it goes. And yes, definitely sparkly.
Yeah.
Instead of green and red, I'm thinking silver and green might be the two colors we can utilize the best.
I like that because
a little bit of gold is fine.
Because it's the time of year too where everything's dead. So
except the evergreens.
So yeah, green
snowy evergreen forest.
Gold, green and silver. That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, so we're going to work on that so that we can kind of share with you what our altar may look like for Yule, or how that would look and work. I do, in the most cases, from what I've read, Yule really came out of Yule as a thing itself came out of kind of a Germanic process or a Germanic Gaelic, but I'm sure there's a lot of different influences all around from where that came from. There are some pretty neat stories that go along with Yule. We're going to pull a couple and probably talk about them next week. We have the Holly and the Oak King is a really good one. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, would be Celtic or Welsh. Correct me, Joy, because I know I messed that one up. Blue and winter green, that's even better. I didn't even think about that. Blue, silver, and green.
Really nice.
So that will be our Christmas. I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. See? Still Christmassy in my head. And
would you care for some bottled water?
I was wondering what took so long. I need more bottled water.
It's sparkling bottled water.
Do you know what else reminds me? And I know y'all are going to laugh at this, but something that reminds me of Yuletide or Yule is brown leather.
Ooh.
Because the leather that would be on the reindeer, that would be on the reins, that would be on the sled with the wood, just that for some reason.
Good point.
And then there's a really good story that, Joy, I think you told us a couple years ago about the Yule log, and I can't remember the details. So I'm going to try to get that written down so we can share it with you guys next week also. So that's Yule. I mean, we're going to get in the mood. We're going to get in the decoration and start kind of transferring our table here, not just into the working table because we're setting up our workshop, but it's going to be our Sunday service altar. So if there's something that really speaks to you and you want to see it on the altar, let us know what that is and we will put it on if we can. So unexplained possibilities, absolutely. I love sparkling water too. I actually do have actual sparkling water here that I will drink. I'm doing really good separating out and slowing down drinking so that I enjoy it rather than get buzzled and fall and crack my head again like I did this morning. Anything on Yule? I think that's good. That blue, that like where'd it go? Like that, the two colors of blue. It's like a silvery blue, like old people's hair. Right? Like with the shimmering lights, the silvery blue.
Purple.
The dark blue, blueberry blue, silver and green. Those sound gorgeous together.
I'm going.
Love it.
Sounds good. Hey, Melvin. Good morning.
Yeah, and one of the things that my grandmother used to do is make candy. I would love to. Like,
That
make,
is a tradition I can get behind.
Yeah, she made. She grew up during the Depression. She was born in 1919, and her family owned the only store in the area, and they were very poor. As a matter of fact, she had a very significant injury to her leg where she spilled hot taffy, boiling taffy on her leg. But they made taffy and hard candy and peanut butter fudges and all this stuff. I would love. That's something we should do. That sounds like a Christmas tradition.
Yes, Yule.
Yes. Yeah, I know. See, I've got to break it. I'm telling you. And I've always hated Christmas. Like, I don't hate Christmas because of what it represents. I hate Christmas, which is a strong word, but I hate Christmas because of how I felt with my family and people during that time. So Christmas really isn't necessarily the problem. Sure, commercial, all this other stuff, yada yada. But for me personally, it's really about. Seriously introverted about 2 weeks before Christmas. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I read like 50 books during that time frame. And there's reasons, and I know what those reasons are. So,
and we've talked, and I think you have similar experiences. But for me, it reminds again, the commercial part. But my memories of a lot of Christmases are me sitting by the window waiting on my dad to come and just didn't come. Right, so that's. And then the focus on the things and the stuff, and we do that all year, and it's just amplified at Christmas. The energy of all the people and the frantic and all that stuff. It's just not a good feeling or energy to me. Yeah,
all of those things make me not like Christmas, but it's the person not showing up that makes me hate it. That's where that came from. And going over to my aunt's house. My aunt actually, before she passed away, I was in 99, on my birthday actually in 1999. Before she passed away, she started coming around a bit because it was me and my boyfriend at the time that were going over to help and try to help around the house and mow the lawn when she could, and she passed from cancer. And I mean, we weren't angels by any means, but she was accepting of that and she allowed us. My uncle, who was her husband, did not. And that was a big reason as a young child in third grade, 8, 9 years old, that I remember hating myself for years. And that all would come to a head every Christmas. The last time when I was dating Paul, we went to my grandmother's house where my dad lived for Christmas. And my uncle, in front of everybody, and my dad said, well, you can have dinner, but he can't. And my dad didn't say anything, so I left. And that's why I hate Christmas.
That's good. Dragon Dancer, you're not missing anything, I don't think. And Paranormal Witch, that would be that kind of could be hold some energy there. I can definitely see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've got some new. You guys have done a lot of teaching to me now. I've got some new ideas on how we can do some decoration. I'm excited about that because I've never wanted to do Christmas stuff, and I think that'll feel good.
That's awesome, Joy. That's what we want to get back to. It sounds like a good childhood, yeah.
Our family was the quintessential, whoever had the nicest house, you went over to their house and you had spiral ham for dinner, and the kids ate at the kids' table, and the older people laughed and joked with each other in there and then talked about each other behind their back. That's all they did. It's very depressing. But anyway, so that's coming. We'll do some stories next week. And then we will also do some decoration and kind of get some new things up here on this table.
You want to share Paranormal Witch's blog? And I can read it from the phone, if you like. Or do you want to do that in a little bit?
Let me do real quick just the discussion on the sun phases and all that.
Oh, sweet.
And then we're going to roll right into that so I don't have to switch it over.
Okay, great. Just kidding. Gotta have a little fun. He's been so good to me. He has treated me like giving me a birthday week. And yesterday, got a birthday dinner and did what I wanted to do, which is play Dead by Daylight, which nobody will ever freaking play with me anymore. And even was patient with me when I had to re-download the game that took an hour and 10 minutes. And even watched a horror movie. So I joke with him, but he's been really good to me.
Weird but good movie, by the way.
Spoiled rotten. Oh, that's funny, Mel.
So, So I want to talk real quick. This is one of the two topics that we have today. The hard political topic was up front, so we're out of that one. The second topic is, we'll talk about the sun phase. We're currently in Sagittarius, ninth sign of the zodiac, right? We are ruled by Jupiter, which makes sense because Sagittarius over here, Jupiter represents the magnanimous, the jovial, the big, the king, the emperor. That's his attitude, yes. Very egomaniac. It is considered hot, dry, which is interesting because hot and dry are associations that were assigned when we started moving away from gender. And I am enjoying this part of the process, which I didn't know. So there's a lot of, when you see things described as hot and dry, what does that mean? Or cold and wet, or hot and wet, or cold and dry. Those are describing some of the characteristics, and used to be that those would be considered masculine, feminine, and I like that that's kind of going away from it overall, because it just makes more sense to me when you describe it that way. Because I know masculine has a definition, but I don't like it. We're going to run in this Sagittarius until 12:20, and their motto. I see. Topaz and ruby would be your gemstones, and things that you really dislike as a Sagittarius generally are unnatural things. Not true. Imitation. I can see you get irritated when somebody's imitating, and monotony is, yeah. You like sincerity, justice, and adventure. I can see that.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
And the reason I wanted to do that, by the way, you're mutable fire. So what does mutable fire mean?
I do not know these words.
I am so glad you asked. That is what I wanted to
fire?
go over today. What does it mean to be mutable or cardinal or fixed? Because it gives you a lot of really good information on how to read. So if you want to dabble in astrology, or you want to learn a little bit more about astrology and how these signs are created and how they work, we have some assignments to them. What are they called? Correspondences. There's another word for it. I'll think of it in a minute. It's written in my stuff here, I think. Modalities. That's what it is. So we have cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Fixed is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And then mutable, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Interestingly, when I look back at the people that are in my inner circles, the majority of them, except for maybe 2 or 3, are within Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And I'm talking about like my whole life, not just recently. Some of my best relationships, other than the one I'm in, not romantic necessarily, have been people who are Pisces, or Gemini. And I think that is because of the mutable nature. Because mutable, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Does that mean like we kind of
mutate,
have the ability just to kind of back off on things for a minute and walk away?
It's an adaptability message for sure. So this will be helpful to you. So if you want to learn a little bit more about you or your friend, find out, is it a cardinal, is it a fixed, or is it a mutable, and then apply some of this information to it. So the cardinal, this is the initial burst of energy. It's the rawness of the energy. Cardinal, think of like the aces, the 2s, and the 3s in the tarot. This is the initial burst of energy, the culmination and bringing together and the putting forth of that first step into the electrical energy that's coming on. And the court card, it's like the page, the super excited, oh, I'm ready to go, I've got this, let's do it. It's the beginning. Major arcana cards, Fool, Magician, High Priestess, and Hierophant. And these are the self-initiative spirit. This is the start of the season. So your cardinal individuals or cardinal signs are Earth at the beginning of a season, Fire at the beginning of the summer. Whatever the how do I say this? It's the beginning of whatever season. Each one has one, and those are the cardinal signs. So your cardinal fire is the beginning of a season. Your cardinal air is the beginning of a season. So that's how this all kind of rotates, right? There's 12 in the zodiac. Ooh. There's 12 months. Kind of rotates, and each season is approximately 3 months in general. General.
Thank you for that explanation, Melvin.
It's very, very accurate.
That is cool.
Then the mutable, constantly evolving, likes to take things through and work things around. The mutable energies actually close the season. The fixed are the ones in the center. So the fixed seasons are the carry it through the middle of the season, and then the mutable signs end it. So Sagittarius ends.
I will end you like that. No.
No. Sagittarius ends the fall, and my Virgo is what would technically end the summer. And I feel that. And when you think of it that way, it's like that kind of does describe me. I'm in that moment between summer and fall. That's where I feel good. You're the moment between fall and winter. You like that section better.
I definitely do.
It's interesting how that works out.
Definitely do.
And then fixed is the one that pulls it through the middle. They connect the beginning and the end. They pull it together. And so they're stubborn. They're fixed. And they need to be because they're linking those two pieces together. So they have to be the strongest. Because if they're not strong enough, they're going to lose one side of it. And they're in that middle, the height of that season. So it makes sense on that front too. I guess I went too fast. For mutable, which is again the ending of the seasons, think 7 and 8s in the minor arcana. Kings and queens in the court, and the major cards: Tower, Devil, Death, Sun, and World. These are all things that are endings and or closings and or markers of a transformation. And then fixed again pulls through the hard times. We've got the 4s, 5s, and 6s in the minor arcana. We've got knights in the court for the fixed, and then the major arcana cards for somebody who's fixed is Strength, Hanged Man, Star, and Moon. These people generally do not like a lot of change. They're stubborn, and they're respected, though, for their sense of purpose. Whew. That is a lot of information. I'm going to post it in the Discord because it's really fun to go through and relearn all this. So, yeah. Taurus is fixed. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Taurus is fixed. Pisces is mutable. I love Pisces. Pisces to me can kind of be like just emotional and so like, I don't know. There's something that in a Pisces that kind of connects them to, if I'm not mistaken, they're the end of winter. They're March, April. I could be wrong on that. I've got to look it up because I don't have it in front of me. But that whole thing is really neat to kind of go through the process and kind of learn and really, think about how you can potentially apply some of those attributes. Now, what I find interesting is people obviously or honestly go with what their sun sign is. I'm a Virgo, but my moon is a Virgo. That's important. I have a mutable moon. And then when you think about Taurus being fixed, that is my ascendant. So that is why people who see me at work, I'm the same at home. I'm the same in private life. I'm the same everywhere. And it's not because my personality is better or different. It's because I'm very stubborn in my ascendant personality or my growing into the world. My stage upon which I rise, which is what the ascendant is fixed. And it shows. Whew. Any comments?
No, there was the energy that hit me. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the sparkling water.
I think it's the heat.
Or maybe
it's warm in here.
Heat. No, that was interesting.
Yeah, so Pisces, February, March, they would be the close of winter. And Gemini is the close of spring. So as you can see, you can place them on the lines when you're looking at the 4 elements, and you're looking at the 12 zodiac, and you're looking at the seasons, 4 seasons. They're all part of the doctrine of signatures.
I keep hearing that phrase.
We're going to talk about that next week.
Like over the last week and a half,
it's been in multiple books. Yes, it's definitely present.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but this is not really what it is, but it's about how everything has an energy or correspondences or characteristics to do certain things.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
The doctrine of signatures in its most basic form is basically, and this is a newer concept for me as far as calling it what it is. I need to do more research. And there's also a biblical connotation with it, but it is more about the ability or the focus that all things have a purpose and a reason. They're all connected. So if you are a fixed sign and you're a Taurus, and everything that describes what we think a Taurus is or does, but they're not that, that's because there are other things and other associations and other signatures within their process. And so it's really neat to kind of see that thing. If you haven't already, highly recommend if you're interested in any of this or just astrology at all, whether you believe it actually does anything or not, it is so intensely
Hey, Steph.
self-growing.
Good morning.
Hi, Steph. Write out the seasons, put on your 4 seasons, get the all the zodiacs planned out on those 4 seasons, and then marked whether they're fixed, immutable, or cardinal, and then put down the elements for each one, and you're going to see. You can probably actually Google that, and there's a picture of it somewhere. We might look for it before the end of the show, but that will really tell you a lot about how those correspondences work. And so for things like we talked about which part of the tarot each of these fit in, I didn't read that anywhere. Those are my systems of putting things together. So when I pull, for example, the devil, death, or sun, or world, I think in terms of mutability, of change and transformation. That is a correspondence on the doctrine of signatures that would support that it makes sense. But it doesn't mean it works for everybody. And I am not sure why I'm this hyper today. Probably because I'm not hungover like the last time.
So does doctrine of signatures in any way or parts of it connect to, tie back to the Akashic records in any way or parts of it?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
To look that.
I think doctrine of signatures is probably something that we could talk about hours on. But I'm trying to see if I can find a real quick, super hash of it. Dating from the time of Dioscorides and Galen, states that herbs resembling various parts of the body can be used as herbalists to treat ailments of those body parts. That's an even better one. We talked about that. So walnuts, when you crack them, look like the brain. They're helpful for the brain.
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Walnuts, pecans.
Yes, pecans.
Because pecan is spelled Puhkuhn. Pecan.
It is not pecans, it is pecans.
No, it's not. It'd be spelled Puh or Pu. Anywho, we're not going down that subject. We're going to share a screen image.
Paranormal witches.
If I can. And I apologize for this transition because I'm not good at the transitions. But hopefully you will see the screen here. Let's see what happens. I just want to make sure it comes up properly, so we're going to pause here for just a second.
Yes. Oh, that's cool.
There we go. All right.
So this is Paranormal Witches blog, and if you all can on Instagram, follow her. She's got some awesome blogs. I just want to say, Belial, I think this is really cool that in the intro you put that you're doing this in a respectful manner. I think that's important to do with anything.
And very important, Paranormal, thanks for writing in the chat. You did a great job. Don't self-deprecate. Not needed. But yes, Mel Cauldron Witch gave lots of information and facts to support that information.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Okay. So as you can see, this is the sigil of Belial, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. No disrespect to the deity or to the people that follow. Sons of Belial, the race, Daemon and fallen angel, sign of the earth, and planet Mullen. Incense, frankincense, color green, north direction. Dates January 30th through February 8th. The metal is gold. Zodiac Aquarius, passionate, courageous, and impulsive. Siblings, angels, and demons. And symbolizes independence, self-sufficiency, and personal accomplishment. I think you've really done your work. And it goes on to say, I don't worship him, although it doesn't mean I can't learn about who he is. Absolutely. This deity has been mentioned in the Book of Solomon, as well as the Old and New Testaments. They claim that Belial is personification of evil by the Old Testament, and the New Testament claims the name means Satan. He is the prince of darkness, impurity, and lawlessness. The 68th spirit created next to Lucifer. He appears in the form of two beautiful angels sitting in the chariot of fire. That's really cool.
Yeah, I want to learn more about that. And Stephanie's talking about Belial as her patron. I would love to learn more about that as well.
I would love to
talk about that.
I would love to. Belial means without a master. His office is distributed presentation and senatorship to cause favor of friends or foes. He has familiars and 80 legions of spirits. The king Belial must have an offering, sacrifice, and gift presented unto him by the magician, or he will not give a true answer unto the demands. Belial is beautiful in appearance and has a soft voice when you summon him, from what I've been told. Fun facts, the movie Nosferatu was about Belial. He's also mentioned on the video called Devil May Cry. Please do your own research. That's really awesome. I like reading your blogs because I learn a lot from them. And I think you do, it's obvious you do the work and reach out when needed. And I really enjoyed that. So follow her on Instagram. That's our friend Paranormal Witch. She's Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. And it does, and I'm going to tell you what helps me. Like most people, my freaking job is crazy. So sometimes reading your blog is my few minutes of spiritual activity that I get to do in the morning. So thank you. It definitely helps. Paranormal.
Awesome. And just for the record, I counted during that. We have a 30-second delay.
Oh, wow. That's kind of like a lot, isn't it?
That's crazy.
That's pretty big.
Probably for auto blocking or whatever you want to call it. So,
is it because I was cussing?
All right. So thank you for that, and thank you, Paranormal Witch. We love reading that stuff. We also know and recognize that the information comes from so many different places. It always frustrates me a little bit when people are like, oh, Wikipedia. I don't know, you just read that. That's a really good source of information, by the way. So is Wikipedia. But even more so, friends, community members, and those that are around us are great, great sources of information. And truly appreciate you giving that credit to the individuals that helped with it, because that's important. So the truth of the matter is, we all are here to learn something new all the time, right? Whether we want to or not, we're going to. If that's what universe tells us we need, we're going to learn.
Yes. And thank you to Mel and Steph.
Yes.
Stephanie, for your help. Willow, for your help with their, oh my God.
You'll be all right.
The sparkling water is...
So, interestingly,
that
is an equation for transformation if you think about it. The information that Mel and Cauldron Witch had, information existed, that data, that's Earth, that Earth is there. And then that air is the thought about it that was brought alive by the fire of Paranormal Witch into the creation, more Earth, of a blog that provided information to others to learn, more air. And we feel good and positive when we do those things. That's water. Those are all your elements at once in the transformation cycle of information amongst the community. And that is what we are looking for. At least that's what I'm looking for. Love it. Absolutely love it. We're going to talk real quick back about some solar things. I wanted to kind of share my method too of zodiacness. We talked about I utilize the connections, the connotations, the signatures, correspondences a lot between different aspects and systems, like using tarot alongside of cardinal, fixed, mutable, and the zodiac signs and things like that. It's the same with a weekly forecast. If you want to look how the week is going, there's a really cool website. I think it's lunaf.com, and it updates often. That's where I get all of my information from. So you can go to that website and pull this information anytime you want, as far as what's going on, where the things are. Now the interpretation is my own. So you can go to Luna F and see that we are currently in a waxing crescent moon, 17% illuminated. Right now, the moon, even though the sun is in the constellation Sagittarius, the moon will be traveling through Capricorn, which is a...
You took down the screen.
Cardinal
Earth.
The Earth, Sun, and so I utilize that information alongside where the Sun is to kind of determine how the week is going to go and what we can do most effectively with that week. I also have an almanac that assists with that information as well. So if our Sun is in fire, is in Sagittarius, which is mutable. So we have a mutable sun sign that is transiting the constellation Sagittarius, and it is representation of the mutable, changeable nature of fire. So it's a very balanced version of fire. And we throw that in with the moon being in Capricorn, you're going to get some information that might be able to help you. So for me, today, finish your crafts, tie up your loose ends, put everything together, get down to a close today that's earlier than normal. You want to get all your things done earlier today so that you can rest earlier than normal. Maybe you usually finish your yard work at 6. Today, try to get done by 3.
Sounds good to me.
So that you can rest and relax because you're going to need it. Monday and Tuesday, you'll be working through Aquarius. That's the moon. Again, sun's still in fire, but the moon will be transiting Aquarius, which is an air sign, right? So Aquarius is really going to be looking at, being careful in our thought processes at the beginning of the week. So we're going to want to be calm and cognizant of what we say. This is a time, Monday, Tuesday. Don't talk too much. Listen more. Take things in Monday and Tuesday. But when you get to Wednesday and Thursday, Pisces is in for the moon. You're going to ramp it up. You're going to start doing things that are emotionally satisfying and be flexible in that, though, because fire is telling you still have to be flexible. And then at the end, we're going to pan out Friday, Saturday in Aries, which is an active sign. So Friday, Saturday is the time, if you haven't been kayaking or bike riding or kickboxing or shooting or whatever it is you like to do, you need to go and do that Friday and Saturday. You can get that energy out and work that through that process. So I kind of wanted to just give that to you. I do that every week, but give you how I figure it out. I put the sun in, and then I use whatever the sun sign is to kind of malleate or adjust whatever the moon sign is showing us. Our next full moon, the cold moon, is December 8th. The next new moon, I don't know because I didn't put it on here. But the last one was 11/23, so that means the next one will probably be around like the 21st to 25th, somewhere in there. We'll have to look.
Of December.
December. And then we have our topic, which we only have 15 minutes left for because I've talked too much. And this dog gets heavy, y'all. Yes. So we are prepping for Yule. One of the things that we talked about a little bit earlier that bothers me is I associate Yule too closely with Christmas, and I hate Christmas. So I actually got some peel back from everybody and some guidance from Joy and whoever else of how we can maybe decorate and do things a little differently. So, nice.
New Year's, yeah.
Jupiter. Sun's in the Jupiter sign now. Saggy. That's what we should just call it. They're saggies. Not sages. They're saggies.
Well, I'm trying to get that fixed. I got an appointment.
So we have a quick topic today. This is topic number 3. This will finish us off before we go into tarot. And that is spells and prayer. So I wanted to do, and not only will it be awesome stuff, it will be huge. It is going to be bigger than life, and it's going to manifest. So that is a good point. Ritual to be doing for New Year's, you guys, with Jupiter being present, is going to, it's like sending it out in mass market. So pay attention to what you're doing, though, because it'll send the bad stuff out, too. So, yeah, just push it out. The positive stuff that you want to happen over the next year and your New Year's, it will happen because you got to put that energy in. Just remember you have to do the action, too.
New moon for December is the 23rd. Thanks, Dragon.
Perfect.
Ooh, it's red with crows. That's freaking awesome. Okay. I like that.
We have a black one.
That sounds freaking badass.
It does. We have to look into that. So the reason I wanted to bring up spells and prayer is because literally I just read it in Mastering Magic, and it made me think of it. And it made me think of the studies that have been done, which, are inconclusive at best, but I do believe that prayer is effective, and why so many people do it. So there's a difference between the two, though. And the difference is going to be described differently from different people. I tend to agree with what Matt Oren put in his book about the difference being really prayer is generally to a deity to ask them to take the wheel. That's the easiest and shortest way to do it. So if I'm praying, God give me strength, God take the wheel, God direct me, God give me guidance. Where a spell is, Odin, please come here to give me a little bit of extra energy and oomph so that I can do those things, so that I can drive, so that I can pull to the next level, so that I can do the difference. So that was the generic difference between spell and prayer. And I liked it. I wanted to say it. Damn it.
Cool.
Hold your dog. She's getting way too heavy for me.
Tarot.
Any comments on spell and prayer?
Oh.
I mean, that's what I think.
Look
I
at
read
the
it.
tea.
I've often thought, I think prayer is effective. I think prayer has a benefit. I never separated prayer, though, as being specific to the reference point from who you're praying to,
Maybe.
which is kind of was his notion, and I loved it.
I've done a lot of praying, and praying to me is just like asking for things, and then spells to me means that you are asking for things, for putting your energy and actually doing work to make them happen. And I know that's very basic, but I did a lot of praying, and to me that's just like, God, please, that or whoever. And then a spell is actually adding things, energy, herbs, work.
Well, think too, like from that reference point. The first thing is the reference point for a prayer is to ask somebody, deity, to come in and direct you. Spell is you're directing and asking deity to be a part of the energy. It's working with instead of for or of. And then to your point, it's action. Spells are having much more actionable component than a prayer. Prayer, God, please give me, let me win the lottery. Please let me find this good job. Please let me do these things. Instead, in a spell, it's God, Carnunos, I'm getting this new job. I need your help to make sure to put my best foot forward. I'm going to do it, but can you give me some confidence? Or can you provide me a ability to be more confident or bring that energy
Good
in?
point.
So,
those are good points.
Mhm.
Dragon and Joy.
Yep, prayer can be in gratitude. Completely agree. I don't know the origin of the word prayer. I think that'd be interesting to know if that was a Christian or origin for the word. Because to me, I like affirmation better for affirmation. Or chant. Chants to me are affirmations. But yeah, those are all really good points. I love that. So now we're going to tarot. Whew.
Did I do my favorite part yet or not yet?
Did you ever do it before tarot?
I can't remember.
You did not.
Asking.
Don't try to change my stuff before you get fired.
Hey, I'm trying to just mix it up.
All right, so we're going to do some tarot. Are you using Light Seers?
I am.
And I will be using Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle.
Ma, I got a shuffle.
Anybody
baby.
like a read this week?
Can I go put you up? If not,
2 cards.
I'm gonna put
Dos
you in.
cardos. 2 cards. Only 2. So yeah, I am just very excited about things that are happening and the way things are going, and not just the way that they are going, but the way we are making things happen, as opposed to just talking about wanting to make them happen. We are actively looking at and making the action. We are actively working to try to bring forth some positive action that's actually going to happen.
I'll move this so I can see myself knocking it over.
All right, so we are going to, obviously, we're going to do our tarot. Hopefully that is not too distracting. If it is, I'll turn our little side camera off. So we will do Dragon Dancer. And, I know I need to figure out how to do a Q in here because that would be a lot easier. Joy, absolutely, and of course. From the Cauldron Witch, of course. As for the Cauldron Witch. Oh boy. The spirits be talking today. A little tree sap. Yes, and please go ahead and ask if you have a question or want a general now so that because of the delay, we'll have that information already. So if you have a question, I got tree sap general, little tree sap, and then Dragon Dancer, Joy, Cauldron Witch, and Paranormal. Let me know if you have a question that you'd like us to kind of channel into that. Ziggy, absolutely. There is always time. Always time. And then, just for the other record, like I said, for all the rest of you lovelies, in the Discord, in the chat here in a minute, you will see a link for our Pondering Pagans Discord. And in the Pondering Pagans Discord, you can find all kinds of neat stuff. It is still growing and getting off the ground. It's a very old server, actually, but we're just starting to try to really grow it up.
Ooh, petition.
To get some things going on there. So if you want to join the conversation or even just listen in to our discussion about books and learning and classes and things that we're doing, please follow the link, join the Discord. It is free. You do have to download the app, though. It can be a pain in the ass. And then we will be more than happy to or enjoy, I should rather say, just about an hour, half an hour to an hour discussion afterwards about what we're reading, what we're doing, what we're learning.
Well, I'm going to be off by the time Stephanie starts.
We always are.
Yes.
We've been, at least lately.
Yes.
Agreed.
I'm focused on Dragon. What does Dragon need to know? Did Dragon say general?
Can you just wait for me, please?
Oh, okay.
Dragon said general.
All right.
Don't make me cut you. I will. And paranormal general.
Don't cut to me.
All right. So I like the generals anyway because I like to just hear kind of what Joy said, how the universe is making things happen and where they're going.
Right?
Don't get cut.
Well, I'm going to watch Stephanie. And I might need to read today.
You need to read today. Look how beautiful that card is.
Those are really pretty. What is that?
This is the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle by Serafina Yeshimesa. Artwork by Kat Amsel. This is another Kickstarter that we had going.
Those are really pretty. He's choosing violence. Did you say you don't make me cut you or something? Is that what you're saying?
I did not.
I'm going to play it back later.
You should. I forgot. I'm going to need a little bit more time. So you can go ahead and start though.
All right. Do we need to switch it to where they can see the
Already did.
card? Oh, it's just because I can't see it.
Yep, see right. Ciao. There it is.
All right. Oh, you can see it. So, Dragon, for me, the cards this week say, or chose 7 of Wands. Remain balanced. You've got a higher thing going on, a purpose, something you're passionate about. You're doing the right thing. Stay balanced. You've got a good foundation. I don't know if this is spiritual or something work-related or another project, but just be calm and confident and move calmly through. Oh, is it still showing us too?
Thanks for waiting for me.
You just said go ahead.
Did not.
You said go ahead.
So we're just giving you an example of gaslighting. Making the person feel crazy. So my card that I got for you, Dragon Dancer, is Hidden Paths. Awareness, mindfulness, and self-mastery. I feel like this is very similar to last week.
And this kind of goes with mine.
It does, but it's very similar to last week in that the focus is on this master-working self-awareness that you have and the needing to go out and share that out with others. You know, hidden paths are truly opening. You're going to melt those cards, dear. Hidden paths are really opening doors for you, and they're opening space for you. And so you're able to travel down and see what's on the other side safely, comfortably, and with little risk because it's the time and it's the place. A lot of times, the easiest way and the best way to get somewhere is on the hidden path. It may take longer. It may be a harder road, but the outcome is almost always surely better. So continue on the path. Continue with that self-awareness and that self-actualization and the whole idea that your self-mastery is yours and yours alone, and it is working for you, and you are doing the thing.
All right. It's on Miss Joy. Joy and pain. Sunshine and rain.
So, yeah, we're still on a streak there for Dragon Dancer. It's awareness and self-mastery, because I really believe that was last week, too.
You know, one thing over the next few weeks I'm looking up and want to learn is how to do divination with playing cards. So it's like pretty much the minor arcana, the small things, details, but I think it would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone do divination with playing cards, or has anyone in the chat done divination with regular playing cards?
Alrighty, Miss Joy. Joy wants to know what the universe wants to tell her.
What does universe have for Joy?
So the message is only decipherable by the joy.
The joy.
It is the sparkling water.
Yeah, I think so. And you should go first this time, by all means. By all means and methods.
The White Oak.
Okay, that seems fitting.
Healing, versatility, and endurance. That is a gorgeous card. The White Oak Joy is all about that capability of healing and endurance. So you're in it for the long haul right now. The endurance of taking something out that is very difficult that you're going to have to carry for much longer than you had expected or thought. So it's a harder road, but it is a worthy road. And the White Oak stands tall in that it is going to be there before and after the situation at hand. So it is a long-term process. It is an ongoing, we're going to keep doing what we need to do. But you really are going to be using that White Oak energy to really endure and stay the course for a long time. And it's going to be very healing for both you and for those around you that are engaged. And I think that that's going to be something that is going to be very meaningful to you. So universe is telling you to be the White Oak, to keep those roots in, keep standing tall, and endure, and it will be for your positive nature and your path, your growth forward. So, that's the White Oak.
And the Light Seers Tarot presented to the universe the Knight of Pentacles. It just seems coming up soon in the near future. There is perhaps someone that is going to give you guidance on how to manifest something, a project you're working on, from not mundane but of the earth, like they're going to have some advice maybe or steps in the process. Pay attention to it. I know in general you've got a couple things that you've been working on, but what I also know is what you've been manifesting with your woolies and things like that is going to continue. But this is something different to me. It's a different project, and someone's going to come along in the near future that's going to give you some guidance.
Like a partner project?
Maybe a partner project, so just listen to them. Yes, the book. So pay attention to them, even if they seem younger, less experienced, maybe someone not even magical. Listen to what this person has to say, because it's going to be good advice. And your trail of success shall continue.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Get it, Joy.
From the Cauldron, which is up next.
I won't catch them on fire. Oh, almost did.
I'm not getting you another set.
I know. This is like the third set of these cards that I've had. What's in this?
Learn to control your fire.
I do need to know how to do that. I need to learn it. Let's see. Did I miss Stephanie?
I could definitely see the book as being part of that, by the way.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, Stephanie, let's see what the universe has for you today. I don't think I saw a question, if I'm not mistaken.
Message from Spirit.
Beautiful, love it. Yeah, I've been still slowly learning the runes, and I've been picking that back up, and I'm going to...
That's really cool.
I've learned it once already, and I'm going to relearn the Theban alphabet, because I want to be able to fluently write and read that. So that's the other thing I'm working through.
That's cool, Mel. I'll have to ask you later how your experience was with it when you tested them compared to like the differences from the messages you received from tarot or oracles. What is Spirit gonna say there?
Stephanie's first card,
Oh, that's pretty.
Spring Rain.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. So as you can see in the Spring Ring, you've got a butterfly chrysalis in the front with a pretty gnarly storm in the back. And the spring rain or April showers, you know, is what brings April flowers, right? Purpose meaning is that the metamorphosis comes through the hardest times that we go through. If you've recently gone through something that has given you a spin, then you are at the moment now where it is time to metamorph and grow into that new piece. And if you haven't yet experienced that, you will. So this represents that the need for change is occurring. It does not have to be a huge, massive change. While the change from a caterpillar to a butterfly seems amazing, and is this very, very big event for us because we see that full change. It's something that every caterpillar-butterfly combo goes through. It's not crazy change for them, but it is still a change. So it's very important to kind of look at either you're entering the storm now or you have recently made through the storm, and that we are in a state of metamorphosis, adaptation, and change at this point into something that's newer and relatively unexperienced for you, and you're going to really, really enjoy whatever that is to come.
That's a beautiful card.
It's a beautiful deck.
And through the change, you got this. It may not be something devastating, but you got it. Six of Pentacles. It's just telling, change is constant and ongoing, and you got it. You got this. I think it's a pretty card too.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
So yeah, I think that message from Spirit is there's a lot of adaptation in the world anyway. We are in a much more, I don't want to say confident, but a much more close time. You've got to stop doing that. It makes me nervous. You're going to burn your cards, I swear. Y'all see him. I see it. He puts it like right in the flame.
They can't see it.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, it is right. It's that little tree sap.
I wonder what the storm is going to be. That's going to be something interesting to figure out. And like I said, it's not this. I don't think it's going to be a life-altering, life-changing, full, thing. It's just going to be something that's different, changeable, and you're going to like it. You're going to really enjoy it, and it's going to be relatively soon, if not within the next couple of months. Little tree sap.
What does little tree sap need to know?
What
The
does...
cards say to buy more books. I'm just kidding.
Well, we have a jumper, like a full
Oh,
jumper.
a jumper.
Haven't had one in a while.
Ooh, I want that card as a tattoo. That's pretty. Haven't had a jumper in a while.
Prophecies. I was going to have you pull first, but it jumped.
All right, this jumped. This is what has to be said.
Messages and revelations. So, little tree sap. Got some prophecies coming. And I think these are self-fulfilling positive prophecies. But prophecies and things that are coming forth for you that are going to also be something that drives you forward. One of the things that comes along with prophecy isn't just the prophecy, it's the message, right? So there's communication happening. I don't know if you are super experienced or following in like dream states or psychic meditation, astral, speaking with the dead, that kind of thing, psychic. But something like this is telling me that you either have or are about to have some kind of message from somebody that's departed or from somebody that's near you, and it's going to awaken a new process in you, a new capability or a new line of desire for you. This may be something you've read in a book that you're thinking, okay, that sounds silly, or, ooh, I really want to know more about that. And then you're going to get a confirmation message that says do that, whether it's learning to be more psychic or learning to communicate, past life regression. God, I can think of a million things. I have no clue if that's part of your practice, but you're going to think about it and you're going to be like, there is something I really want to do. There's been a message in the back, and I think that I need to listen to that message and do more with it. But then you're going to get a confirmation from somebody either in a dream or in a medicated state. Medicative, Lord Jesus. Maybe medicated, I don't know.
Hey.
Maybe maybe a medicated state. Meditated state. But yeah, so that's what they get out of the prophecy.
How weird is this?
It's a pretty card.
That's a beautiful card. That I drew the Seven of Swords, and it's got a big moon, and you've got another crow or corvid. Well, several. You've got the feathers floating down, and whatever it is, I think it goes along with kind of with yours. It's being illuminated. It's come to light. It's a quiet, smooth thing that you should pay attention to and what's the right word? Entertain, take action on.
Definitely increase your observation of what's around you, for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, there's going to be some confirmation. I have no doubt about that. But you're going to second guess the confirmation.
Because she is hollering it out loud, but these are more subtle that are closer to you. But so listen to that in the distance. Agreed. Confirmation would be nice. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
I just think those are beautiful. And how cool that both the cards from different decks had crows come up on them. Yes, fire is cleansing, Ziggy.
Oh, did I miss that?
Light that bitch on fire. I actually did light this table on fire doing a spell, a candle magic for my friend like a year and a half ago. And I still haven't replaced his spiritual tablecloth that I lit on fire.
Nope, you sure haven't.
Who are we doing now? Paranormal Witch.
When you laugh, you sound like a crow.
Well, good. Rook Tempest. It's in my
Paranormal
name.
Witch is up. Yeah, paranormal and then Ziggy.
Okay. Paranormal. What does paranormal need to know
You
today?
can pull first on this one.
All right.
I wasn't going on the last one, but that one just jumped the hell right on out.
That jumped. And it was
All right,
definitely confirmed.
Paranormal P-dubs.
PW. Ooh. That's a pretty card.
I didn't pull it though, so.
That deck is really nice.
Yep. Let's see what we have for the Paranormal Witch. Paranormal Witch.
No questions? Let's see.
General.
Okay.
Ooh.
What's up with the swords for me?
I don't know, but that's a good, one of my favorite swords cards.
That is a really pretty card. Paranormal, the Six of Swords, if I can say it right. There's certain card names, words I can't say. Wands. So I call it wands.
No, you call it ones.
Ones. So sick. Can't talk. Six of Swords. So whatever difficult time has come, don't forget it, but look ahead. You got it. It's going to end soon. You're going to start to come out of it. So don't be discouraged. I don't know if you're going through a rough time or something that's coming up. But don't put it out of mind. Remember the lessons and that you're going to look forward. You're going forward and you're going to come out of it. I don't know what that means. Hopefully that means something or helps you.
The other thing that comes to mind, and I'm not going to overread you because that is your reading, but the Six of Swords can often represent needing to take a vacation. Even if it's just for a day or half a day, a full outside separate, by yourself, relax. A getaway.
Oh. Cool.
It's a travel card. And then we have, for Paranormal Witch, the Nest, spiritual health, comfort, and well-being.
That's a
So
pretty
this
card.
is telling me, based on the Six of Swords, that you are not spending very much energy on your spiritual well-being.
Self-care?
Yeah. You're not spending enough time on the things that keep your nest comfortable. You are prodding and preening the nest for others and for the people that are in your immediate family, which is good, but you're not doing enough for yourself. So what I would recommend, paranormal, is really taking a moment. It goes along with the vacation thing too, but maybe even in a day. Each day, set aside 5 minutes, 10 minutes, repetitious, repeatedly every day, and just meditate or think silently about what in my nest, my house, my home, my things around me are comforting and things that I need to develop and grow more. What in my nest needs to be built up better? What in the things that are within my immediate environment can better support what I want out of it? So if you want spiritual healing and spiritual movement, and which is really hard to do for a very busy person, a very busy mother, the people that are trying to do so many things, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, where maybe meditate on a sage leaf or go sit outside. Barefoot is a big thing to me. Be outside barefoot for a few minutes. But do something consistently for yourself that's going to help you kind of engage your spiritual rest and your spiritual nature. Because the nest that we have, like for me, and you know this for me very well, I'm not the most organized person at home, but there's always a point where things in the nest around me get to be too much, and I have to power clean and power move and power organize everything. Because when your desk gets cluttered, you feel cluttered. When your writing space feels like you can't sit and write, you can't sit and write. So think about those things in your kind of environment around you. And I think if you do, you'll get some spiritual growth out of that, even if it's just mindfulness and ability for your brain to step off for a second. Ziggy never, well, not always last, never least. The queen arrives exactly when she is supposed to.
When she's supposed to. That's correct.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
What does Miss Ziggy need to know? Right.
We got a general from Miss Ziggy Dreadful. You going first this one?
You can go.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Ziggy.
Does not matter, sir.
Ziggy, we are going to double cut for some reason. Oh my god, you have, this is my most favoritist card in the whole deck. It is one that actually was advertised that got me to buy this deck on the Kickstarter. Look at this.
What is it?
Thunder and Lightning. Painful realization and inner conflict.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Is gorgeous. So, Thunder and Lightning, obviously, we are talking about this inner conflict or these things that are going on within inside of you that you are not able to come to terms with, but I don't think you need to. I think this is one of those instances where if you look at this image, you're seeing this guy. He's got the thunder. Well, you can't see the thunder, but you can hear it because you see the lightning, right? So you see the lightning and thunder inside of him, as within, so without. So those same energies are at play regardless of what's happening. And they're not always, I mean, while we like storms, and many of us really enjoy the storms, it does represent things are not the way that they need to be. And the thing is, though, is you can't stop lightning and you can't stop thunder. It's part of life. It's part of the world. It starts forest fires, but it also balances the electrical charges within the universe or within the world and the earth. So they're both necessary, but they're also catalysts for change. Being that he is in this state that looks almost painfully contemplative, I would say this is that internal struggle or the internal thing and fight that's going on with you that doesn't need a resolution, which is a pretty rare thing to say. because resolution may not be actually possible. So what's bothering you, or what is in your mind or causing your feeling of depression or sadness, doesn't have a resolution. Meaning the only way to move forward is through yourself, right? The thunder and lightning will continue. You just need to get an umbrella. Although getting an umbrella could electrocute you with the lightning. There's a point there. There's risk, I guess. I don't know. But the point is, if it gets that bad, it gets that place, you just need to throw out your umbrella, which means, and personality, right, and people, stay connected to people. Don't isolate yourself. Don't drink yourself into a stupor constantly. But just take a life jacket with you, which again, life jackets in depression are people, and or things that make us grounded and happy. So try to find some things and keep them around with you, because there's no resolution to this problem that you're having, because it's an external problem that can't be controlled. So I would be rubber umbrella.
Yes, rubber
absolutely.
umbrella.
There's a solution for everything. But I would be very careful with that. So.
All right. It's funny. This card actually looks like if you're looking at Ziggy from behind.
It does look like
yeah. Ziggy. The Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of little things.
You okay?
Probably not. There's a lot of little things that are just awesome, and possessions that you have that make you happy. Spend some time looking at those and remembering those and being grateful and finding the magic in them this week. It could be a stone, a crystal, a book, altar decoration. Could be a video game. Could be any of that stuff. But just take them in this week and reconnect to the magic and the appreciation of those things that you enjoy. That's pretty, and it is funny that it looks like Ziggy.
That is kind of funny. From
behind. And she's holding her candle in her hand, and she's saying, look at all this shit I have. I got a lot of good shit here.
You have a lot of good shit.
A lot of good stuff.
All right. That is everybody who asked for a reading. If anybody came in afterwards, if you'd like a reading, we do have just a few more minutes. We can pull a couple cards. Before we go into the Discord discussion on stuff about books. Y'all were expecting something really big, weren't you? And magnanimous.
May we put up my screen?
When I please. I just want to give an opportunity for anybody else that wants a reading. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, it's the little things. There's so many cool little things around you that are meaningful.
Remember magic. Instead of I need to get back on track, doesn't have to be permanent. Just I am getting back on track. You're welcome. Seeing no additional requests for a tarot reading or oracle card, we are going to move over to Rook's favorite part, which is weird to me.
It's my favorite part.
I mean, it's just you're weird, me, period. But.
Well, I'm definitely weird.
And that would be right.
But how boring would it be if I weren't weird?
Pretty boring, I guess. Pretty boring. I would assume. It's gonna be a minute. We gotta wait for the video to catch up. So, again, we're going to do our after discussion for sure. We're going to have that book talk. We've finished a couple books. I'm going to hear how everybody's doing. So I'm going to post the Discord link again if anybody needs it. If you want to jump in to our Discord, which is Two Pondering Pagans, and we generally hop in the I forgot one of the audio, or General Chat 1 is probably where we'll be. Right after the show to have that discussion. You're more than welcome to join, listen. You do not have to turn on video. You don't have to even say anything if you don't feel like it. But just know that is open for everybody who wishes to join and discuss. With that, Rook is going to do his fun parts.
So the reason this is my favorite part is because it talks about the people that have made me feel something that I've been looking for, and that's the sense of community. All of the support, the time that we spend either in you guys' podcasts, reading your content, talking in the chat, or playing video games even with. This is my favorite part because of that sense of community that you all have given to me. So with that being said, please check out all of these awesome creators, witches and wonderfuls. Addius Dade on Twitch and Instagram, Mr. Malice on YouTube, Addius Dade, 2 words, on Facebook and Twitter. As you know, Mystic and Addius do a Friday night podcast on all things occult and goth. The Malice Experience on Friday nights. From the Cauldron Witch on Instagram and From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. Freaking amazing on fire readings.
Can't see me.
It's 10 o'clock a.m. California time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to tune in to From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram.
10 a 1 p.m. I will be listening today. I'm going to be hopping on, but I will probably be mowing the lawn with my headphones in, just for the record.
Paranormal Witch, 2 words, on YouTube, and Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. She puts out awesome blog posts on Instagram. Please check her out. Unexplained Possibilities on YouTube and Unexplained Possibilities on Instagram. Melvin needs no introduction, but has some awesome interviews and content on the paranormal, occult, I think pretty much anything, and his energy is just awesome. Ziggy Dreadful on Twitch. Hopefully we'll stream some Dead by Daylight games soon. Check out Ziggy on Twitch.
We need to do that.
As well as Maeve, though. I want to do a Dead by Daylight marathon.
We need to get our Twitches up and running.
And we are 2 Pondering Pagans on YouTube and Facebook, and 2 Pondering Pagans on Twitter. I'm Rook Tempest on YouTube and Rook_Tempest on Instagram. And sitting to my right, your left, is Mystic Salann on Twitch and Salann Talwin on YouTube.
Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
And thank you all so much for spending some time with us today, and for being just an awesome community of support and interaction and exchange.
Very much so. And just to mention it, get smart quick. Very glad you hopped in. We are unfortunately ending right now. Please feel free to go back and look at the video, but also please feel free to hop in our Discord if you'd like to continue the conversation. Now, the big focus on our conversation in this Discord is books, things that we have read, things that we have learned, classes we have taken or taught. So if you are interested in any of those things, you're more than welcome to come in. You don't have to do video or audio. You can just listen if you want. But we will be in there, and we will be talking for usually 30 minutes to an hour or so about all the things that we've been doing. Probably closer to 30 minutes, since we want to be ready for other podcasts and doing the lawn. Because we have yard work to do, because we're adults. At least one of us is.
Yeah, I'll never claim to be. I'm 45 and I don't think I'm an adult.
Yeah, so sorry
like
to leave
Peter
when
Pan.
you're just hopping in and saying hi, get smart quick. But you know what? Glad you came anyway. Feel free to hop in that Discord if you want. We will be live every Sunday, 10:30. We have only missed one, even through the hurricane this entire time. Although that may change depending on what we engage in. We appreciate you. We love you and thank you. And yes, their link again. I'm just for the heck of it. That's our link. Feel free to hop in, and we'll see you over there.
See y'all.
Wonderful people.